members of the faculty, fellow members, fellow writers, and young students. It gives me great privilege to be here with you, particularly the younger people. I'm very happy that you are being taught literature. Going by with the name of the college or the institution, it doesn't look like that you are studying literature, but this interdisciplinary exercise is necessary. I'm very glad for it. I won't take much of your time. You may probably know that Konkani was the late entrant in the mainstream list of languages, of Indian languages. And the reason also is obvious. Goa was liberated 14.5 years after the rest of India became independent. Naturally, the other languages had a go far ahead of us, and we had to struggle to catch up with the rest of the literatures of India. You know, today as we stand, you probably know through our literature or our writings, but we had to, the Konkani language and literature has seen a very, very dark age. The history of Konkani is, rather very discouraging. Let me tell you, you all know that Goa was under Portuguese yoke for 450 years, as against 150 years of British rule in India. And there is a marked difference between the British and the Portuguese. The Britishers were not hostile to any regional language. On the contrary, they even promoted the languages. Whereas with Portuguese, it was totally a different story. In 1510, when Portuguese conquered Goa, soon followed the missionaries, the zealous missionaries who came with the zeal to preach their religion. And it was initially, they have contributed so much to Konkani. They learned the language, they followed it properly, they studied the existing writings in Goa, and on the pattern of that, they themselves constructed so many writings, particularly the translations of the religious scriptures which were existing in other languages, Western languages, they brought into Konkani. So it was a tremendous contribution to the religious literature of Goa in Konkani. But it was a short-lived thing, because once that generation was gone, earlier it was mainly the Jesuits, and later when the Franciscans came, they had a different ideology. They came with a set mind, with the mindset that they thought that it is our duty to give our culture to the local people rather than take learning their culture or their language. So as a result of it, in 1640, Inquisition was enforced in Goa. You know what is the law of Inquisition? Because of Inquisition, we have suffered a lot. Post 1640, there was literature existing in Goa, the writings were existing in Goa, but it was destroyed by the Portuguese. This is not what I am telling to you. It is Sebastião Rodolfo Talgar, who has been a lexicographer, whose name we take in high respect and regard. He has mentioned in his introduction that Portuguese destroyed whatever literature was available in Goa. And another proof is that the penal code of the law of Inquisition also mentions there is a guideline. If anyone is found in possession of any book, the pagan book particularly, they call it pagan because they did not believe in idol worship and the local traditions. So they said any book is found in possession of anybody, that should be confiscated and the man should be penalized suitably. This is a proof in itself that literature was existing but it was destroyed. with for some motive or the other. In 60, do you know that in 1684, a decree was passed banning the use of Konkani in totality. Even in speech, no one was allowed to use Konkani for communication or for reading or writing. Riverside reading, writing, even in speech. Soon thereafter, the Archbishop ruled that unless you master Portuguese and give up Konkani in totality, no priesthood will be ordained on anybody. No marriages will be solemnized if not only the bride and the groom know only Portuguese, speak only Portuguese, but the entire family on both sides should know Portuguese, should speak Portuguese and do not speak Konkani. This was in 1684, soon after that. Then the next was the literature had been destroyed. The folklore, you know, any community lives with its folklore, and in Goa, Goa cannot be an exception. Unfortunately, the Goan community had to suffer from this also. There was conscious effort to eradicate the rich folklore existing in this Goan community in Konkani. In 1812, the first school, government school, was opened in Goa. It was, of course, in Portuguese. But there was a mandatory condition. The students should not be allowed to speak any other language than Portuguese. Teachers who spoke only Portuguese were allowed to teach Portuguese. You see, today we go to primary schools to learn any language, but the language, any language, supposing if I go to an English primary school, I will be taught English through Konkani medium because my mother tongue is Konkani. So that was being followed earlier, but it was banned thereafter. So this is the dark age that we have witnessed, our history has witnessed it. Our Dr. Manohar Sardesai, the famous poet, who is no more now, he used to say the history of Goa, history of Konkani has created geography of Konkani. Do you know what did he mean by that? He refers to the diaspora of Konkani people. Goan people had to flee. They fled away from Goa and settled right up to Kochi in the south and up to Mumbai in the north. There were different reasons. First, because of conversions, they were scared of being converted, so they ran away. And then it was the turn of the new Christians who were already converted. They were subjected to this law of inquisition, and out of scare of it, because the punishment was very, very heavy, they ran away and they settled up to Mangalore. So this is how the Konkani community, the Goan community, went into diaspora, spread all over the 4 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala and Goa. Those who went to Mangalore, next generation, they took Konkani with them, but they studied Kannada in the primary schools. They learned Kannada, and then they did not want to give up their language, so they adopted Kannada script to Konkani and kept Konkani alive. Really, we have to respect them because of them, because most of the Konkani speaking community is in Karnataka. Also in Kerala, those who went to Malayalam skills, they adopted Malayalam script to Konkani and kept Konkani alive. Even today when we go to Kochi, we find so many Konkani people, nearly 2 lakhs of Konkani people are in Kerala. So this is the patch in the history. You can understand the extent of suffering my language and my literature has suffered at the hands of this dark age in the history. Well, I do not want to dwell upon the tearful story of my language and my literature. I am an optimistic guy, so I look forward to a bright future which is existing for my language. Today, as I said, this is the forgotten past. You should, as students, you should know about it. So that's why I brought to your notice. Today, as Konkani literature stands, I am very happy that we are marching ahead. Though we started late, though as I said, we were the late entrants in the mainstream languages, Indian languages, we today have almost caught up with the rest of the literatures of Indian languages, including some leading languages like Marathi, Bengali. Our writings have been translated and gone into translation into their languages, like Kannada, Bengali, Marathi, and Hindi. So it's very promising present that we see today, mainly because you see soon after 1961 we had poets like B.B. Borkar who wrote also in Marathi but also contributed richly to Konkani. We had Lakshmandas Sardesai who wrote fiction. We had Dr. Manohar Sardesai, R.V. Pandit, who were great poets. But what is promising is the young writers from the masses, from the downtrodden class, from the lower class, who has taken to express themselves in their own language. This is a tremendous development which is taking place in my language. I am very happy. I should mention Prakash Pariyekar, who is from Sattari. He writes excellent fiction. He has written one book of essays, Dovarne. Dovarne, do you know what is Dovarne? Dovarne is a place, earlier when there was no vehicular transport, people used to take 8 loads from one village to the other. And since the distance was long, there were some structures, short structures to rest. So they used to have Dovarne where they could keep the 8 loads on that. Without it, nobody would help them. So they would keep it there, they would take it back and go ahead. So this is written by Prakash Pariyekar. If you can read Konkani, do read it. And an excellent book which throws great light on our culture, which we are forgetting very fast. We have Ramnath Gowde from Molen in Sangay, who has written a novel about illegal mining. I am very happy that some young writers are showing the courage to write, to take up these topics and throw light on them. Friends, I won't take much of your time. This is just the initial whatever I wanted to tell you, and maybe there will be interactive session. Then I may be able to express more. Thank you very much.